guys? It is your boy Smurfy here with a new video for the Combo Kings YouTube channel. Thank you guys again for the support as we reached over 230 subs. Honestly, if you had told us that we would even be at this point in our channel, I would not have believed you at all. And it's a part, especially I like to, thank you guys on that because you made this video happen because I wanted to start posting more, but I've kind of been lacking in ideas for videos right now because we're kind of dry on gaming news right now. We do the NBA playoffs, but everyone's kind of talking about it anyway. They've been pretty good, but I wanted to start talking about something that I'm really passionate about and something that maybe we can make a normal thing on the series that you guys might like. If not, maybe I'll just put it on my own channel. But I want to talk about comic books and superheroes. I am a big comic book fan, and especially when it comes to superheroes, most of my comics, like 90%, like really 95 to 98%, are superhero related comics. On the offshoots, I do want to collect some of the gargoyle. That's besides the point. That's off topic. But I wanted to basically make a series of videos dedicated to reviewing comic issues I'm reading or reviewing superheroes in a way, but in a way that's kind of more raw and very amateurish that I don't think is on YouTube at all. You have a lot of really professional level people that have dedicated like their whole lives, like 30 to 40 plus years old, that they have like this extensive knowledge on it. And I've been around the comic book collecting scene for a minute, but I've never really taken it as seriously as I have now. So I kind of want to take that to the next level by creating videos on it and kind of giving my thoughts and opinions on what I'm reading or what I'm collecting and why, or even those heroes that I'm reading about. So this first video is dedicated to Jace Fox, the new Batman introduced in DC's future state, who takes over after Batman's disappearance, which I believe was in connection with the Dark Crisis event. I'm not sure if that's right or not, but don't quote me on it because I'm still learning everything. But basically, he is the Batman, and then eventually, of course, when Batman comes back, he then moves to New York so he can create his own identity. And the whole comic book series is basically, it's only like really like 20 issues and something like that, but it's dedicated to him finding out who he is as a person, as well as a superhero, how he can make a difference in his own way, while also not like for lack of a better term, fucking up. But so this is Jace Fox, so this is Lucius Fox's son. Then he goes by Tim, I think, as well, more towards later in the comic series. Kind of that shows the evolution of him and how he's developing as a character. But I wanted to talk about how that series is going, and how I've kind of been liking it and my opinions on it. So far, I'm about 14 issues in. I have the other ones I'm a little behind, so I just need to catch up a little bit. I have like 6 more to read, I think. But I wanted to talk about the first couple, 13. It's not really much to cover. It's part of why I'm not a big fan of the series at the moment, but I do like certain things that they have done. He doesn't have, so basically it starts off with him kind of trying to donning the costume for the first time. Not really the first time because it was Future State, which predecedes this, but basically you get what I'm saying. For the first time he's like donning the costumes, making alterations, changes to what suits him as a fighter, and to what he thinks is going to work best for him long term, whether it's like the plating or the stylistic choices of the suit. And so he gets help, and he has his own little tech guy, his little computer guy he has too, and doesn't even feel like he's even ready for the suit early on. He's not even rocking any suit really, besides like the normal just I forget the actual terms, like the Bonclave, is it Bonclava, something like that. And then like a normal like tactical ops suit since he's got like a military background. And then he's kind of just going to do these just going to get kind of normal street thugs. Basically, he explains that he's not really trying to be like a superhero, with Justice League fighting off like super villains and that have like powers and aliens and that. So it's not really his speed, but he wants to do more at the ground level, which is kind of where the foundation of Batman came from and how he's kind of gotten away from it, which is why I think this is why this is here, is that he's now filling that void from what Batman first did. He still does it, but it's not like in comics, that's not like his main thing, right? So basically he's getting good with getting used to the whole idea of being a superhero and all that stuff. which is pretty cool. I mean, I'm not like at this point in time in the comics, I wasn't like, I had no opinion towards either way. I thought it was kind of slow progressing, but it's understandable, right? Because you don't want it to progress too quickly because it's a comic series. It's not like it's a TV show or a movie with a condensed set of time, so it's understandable. So it's progressing. We get to, I think it's like about issue 8 or 7. There starts to be a string of murders. He moves to New York, right? So he can maybe become his own like superhero and have his own territory essentially, and do things his own way without interference from the other Bat family. And so what he begins to do is, he realizes that there's a serial killer out there on the loose that's killing, usually it's corrupted politicians and officials. And so he investigates it. This is kind of his first real super villain that he's kind of faced with. So it's interesting. And his name is Man Ray. I thought he was a really cool thing. He kind of basically spawns from Batman, which is like a common thing you get theme-wise in Batman's like lores, that like they all started showing up when he became a thing. So like all of his villains, super villains, all these villains that showed up in the city, they all came when Batman came to the city. So they kind of reprised that in this series, in the I Am Batman series, and I thought that was really cool because he basically explains that was his kind of inspiration was Batman, but he was doing it in a way that obviously he doesn't endorse. But I don't want to spoil too much of it. But it was a really good. I loved him as I love him as a character, but there's not enough yet to get you hooked. And that's kind of part of my issue with this series right now, is that there's not enough to get you hooked on Batman as a character because the villains are lacking, the rogues gallery is lacking, which is again understandable. It's kind of slow progressing, so I wish it. I mean, it's not like to each their own. It's not like it's their fault because, I mean, it's a new series. We're talking about like 18 issues in, right? So it's not like it's supposed to be in depth yet. It's still developing its foundation first to then branch off. But I really do hope soon we get like his main rival villain. I think that's needed to really get this character fleshed out and developed, because you have to also like be able to like be wondering like, okay, what is this villain doing? What is this villain doing now since they've been captured or done on the run? So I think that's what this series really needs right now, and Man Ray did bring that for a couple of issues. I'm not gonna talk about how that saga went down, how that ended. I want y'all to definitely read it. We'll keep it spoiler free as possible for you guys for that reason, because I really do think this has got some potential here. So which kind of leads me back to then issues 13 and 14. This is the latest issues I've read today prior to making this video. And basically what's going on at this time is Jace Fox is with Tim Fox, Jace Fox, same thing, right? Leads his sister Tiff, who's been struggling with a lot that's been going on in the past, which was basically her older sister, Tim Fox's also, I think, younger sister, like basically the middle child. She was captured by the rat catcher, and because of the toxins, it put her in a coma. She then comes out of a coma in the series, and so they're kind of still trying to recover. And the daughter Tiff has yet to really kind of like get over it, as everybody else has, even the person that was the main victim of the rat catcher at the time. They've all moved on, and she's still struggling to figure out what she can do to prevent that in the future. Kind of the same realization that Tim Fox had in his own way, but she's also very young, doesn't have the background. So issue 13 kind of starts to show like her like rise to being what essentially will be probably, I'm assuming, Robin, because of how it's kind of directed, right? She's training, she wants to make a difference. They've shown that how smart she is and how she can code and like shit like that. And then they've also had the question in there, the female version. Like, there's different variations of questions they kind of confirm in the series. It's also helping out, but like it's mainly focusing on Tiff and the Batman. But the Batman thought he was being tested by the question, but in reality it was more of a for the question kind of thing, which was really interesting. I think I like the question in this one. I see what they were kind of doing, just showing how much more that this Batman needs to learn before he's ready. And she kind of points it out in her own way throughout the normal dialogue, which I thought was interesting. And then you go to Tiff, you can kind of see that same amateur struggle that Tim Fox was experiencing, and she's kind of going through the same realization. And that's kind of what 13 and leading into 14 comes, which is when Tiff decides to start wearing a costume to fight essentially this guy that had been a bad influence on somebody in a program that Tiff was helping out with and trying to make a difference in. But then she decides to kind of don her own cowl and do her own brand of justice after it built up with her trying to find ways to get her to get help. But the issues that she faced, ironically enough, the ones that people hinted towards being the roadblocks to her being able to make a difference in this woman's life, which I thought was really good. Honestly, I thought it was really a really cool little tidbit they did, hinting towards what this is probably going to lead to. So again, I'm not going to spoil what happens or anything like that, but it ultimately leaves off on a really cool note and kind of not a cliffhanger, because it's not really a cliffhanger. It just makes you want to read the next issue because of how it ends. And I thought it did a great job with. They didn't have to have a ton of action, right, and for it to be a really engrossing 2 issues. So I really liked it. I'm really excited to read 15 now. I might even read it tonight or sometime this week at the latest to start making another video on 15. I might do it in blocks of 2. I'm going to read 15 and 16 and definitely talk about those and see how 13 and 14 set up those next 2 issues. And I think I'll make this a regular thing to talk about. I don't know if it'll be just doing an I'm Batman series and then another one, or kind of I'm reading multiple series right now, or if we'll do highlights just for ones I thought were really good that week that I read, and then we will go into, like, we'll just flip-flop between ones, because there's some really cool other series out there that I really want to highlight with you guys, and hopefully I can put you all on, because honestly there's some other, like, I want y'all to support these other heroes because they don't get the same, you know, shine or on YouTube even, or recognition. So I really want to highlight these kind of series and kind of these superheroes are, because they're pretty cool and there's a pretty good future ahead of them for as far as the diversity of DC Comics. So again, looking to make this into a normal series. If y'all want 15 and 6 me to talk about just one series for one set of videos and another series for another set of videos, I'm happy to do so. Again, I'm going to have to cover the issues I had in the beginning of the video. I'm going to have it probably again here at the end of the video. That way you know which ones I'm reading right now, and that way you can stay up to date. If you guys have any questions, or if you have any comments about maybe y'all recollect comics too, or if y'all have any suggestions on comics you want me to review and read, I can definitely do that and do shorter videos with just one-off issues. I'm more than happy to do that, but I think I'm going to start doing more comic book-based content for the channel, and then just to give us something different on the channel. And I'm really excited, honestly, because it's something I'm really passionate about. I might even link my TikTok and the Instagram page in the comments below. That way you guys want to follow as I'm collecting that stuff. I do small little videos even of what I'm doing at the time, because I do have a good amount of comics, and it does require me to basically, I'm behind, but catalog all that stuff. So might even post on the main channel. So if you guys want me to do that as well, let me know. I can definitely post some of those TikToks onto the YouTube channel as reels, because they're not really that long. But again, very excited for this kind of project to really give me kind of something I can talk about more frequently for you guys and more consistently, bring y'all more videos. So again, if you guys have anything else, leave it in the comments below, subscribe, and